We've been recruiting, got some kids on campus, basically have the same routine this week as we had a week ago. An off day at lifting day with some skill work on their own. The coaches were out, so our graduate coaches were helping a little bit, but didn't really practice. Wednesday, light work or yoga. Same on Thursday, lifting. Friday, yesterday, we had a really good starter practice, had a good half pad practice. We'll go full pads tomorrow. Then next week for us is finals. I might be wrong, but if my intel tells me correct, I think Duke's finals ended yesterday, so they'll actually have 2 weeks of no school. We'll actually be fighting through the finals and academics, and you can't just practice and meet. I mean, those are critical days, so we'll keep getting some work. We'll try to have some really good work next weekend. Our plan is to travel up there on Monday, which is actually Monday of game week because the game's on Saturday. And I was excited. We were up there for an event, tied it into the press conference that we had. Was very, very impressed. Of course, you just start thinking about the tradition of the organization and the Yankees and the stadium, so it'll be a great experience. I think we're playing a really, really good team, have really started looking at them, haven't done anything yet, game planning, just working fundamentals, but very impressed. Well, I see watching Duke's team, All-American linebacker, it's the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. I think the quarterback's outstanding player. Coach Cutcliffe's great with offensive game planning. I think they were 6-1 at one point and lost 4 straight. I think they were rated in the top 25 at one point, and so it's going to be a good challenge. They've been their 4th bowl game in a row, our first one, so it'll be a great challenge. Well, we're talking about it and trying to go through some things. Like yesterday, with the coaches not being here, it was just me and the GAs, but we did some unusual kicking things, like long field goals with returns or, surprise onsides or just kind of keep them thinking football 101. We've tried to do a lot of young guy development. I know some of our old guys are saying they feel as good as they felt since the start of the season. So we've lifted, tried to recover. Those guys will knock the rust off this week, and we're kind of working in pods. We basically lifted 3 days with the young guys after the first game. We went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then this week we kind of lifted again 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll give our guys Monday off. We'll kind of, with where exam calendar falls, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we can have some quality work without, I think, stressing out the academic side. We'll give them Friday off. We'll go Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning and travel. So we're kind of working like in little pods, and hopefully we can kind of stay fresh, sharp, not over-practice, get some young guys developed, but then also get a good game plan in. We want to get to New York, I think, with the city and the travel and the bright lights. We just got to make sure that we're working in the proper way there and not leading to a lot of stress with travel and meeting time, and you got too much on your plate. So, but again, we're just talking about continuing to get better in the process. And Nate Sudfeld's looked as sharp last couple of days as he had all year. Just, guys like that playing their best football keep getting better. So we're just trying to stay within the means of how we operate and have a good trip. And we're going to have a lot of fun things up there to do, but we're not on vacation when it's time to work. And you really just want to show up. It's a great opportunity, 3:30 ABC. Saturday after Christmas, it's kind of a cool time to keep branding and growing the program. I know our guys want to just take advantage of the opportunity.
I guess how much have you seen in terms of, you talked about wanting to use some of this time to, I guess, to regenerate some guys that played a lot, maybe particularly young guys. Have you seen them kind of, some of the rest or whatever you want to say has kind of gotten them back a little bit sharper?
Well, you ask them and they say so. Now, the thing to me that was encouraging is the way we continued throughout the season to play hard. I think we had a practice routine and a game routine where we could keep coming back the next week with the same amount of energy and effort. So I think it was really just a chance to catch your breath, whether it be psychological or physiological. Are you feeling better mentally or physically, whatever? But they, again, good balance at practice day, very, very sharp. Young guys getting the work they need, but old guys, I mean, it's I can continue to be impressed with the way these guys prepare and the way they kind of just play together and play for each other and the way they practice. So they look good, but I don't know. They say so. But, sometimes guys will tell me what they think I want to hear versus truth. I mean, they seem good.
I guess we do have to ask just Jordan, is there any progress there?
Yeah, he was doing a little bit more practice. They run around dressing. So, again, we'll be smart, bring it back. We'll see. I mean, still, 2 weeks from today out? And I don't know, I saw you guys, somebody put out these declaring for the draft. Well, our guys go through the process because anyone declaring now is losing money. because it's an immature decision. And we teach our guys on the process of getting evaled and going through and making a mature decision to, for example, if our guys want to move on, playing their best football this game will help them move on more than who their agent is or what they're doing in the spring. And, it's showing that, hey, I continue to get better. You can count on me. I come to work. I'm a good practice player. I'm a good teammate. I do my job. So he's going through that process, but a couple guys are. Everybody kind of, guys kind of check where they're at. Bottom line, I think the team's growing, and he looks like he's okay, but, we'll see. I know he wants to. But I think we judge that as we get game time, short term and long term. It's not about this game. It's short term, but long term, what's best for him.
What would it mean to get the All-American honors for Spriggs and Feeney this week?
Well, it's good. I mean, I think that shows. I think some people are watching because sometimes linemen only make it based on the team or namesake. You can go to certain places, always get certain guys on certain teams because, well, if you don't know, you really don't study linemen. So who sticks out? So I think it just shows that our team's doing well enough and growing on it that some people got some respect for them. Those are two really, really good players. I'm confident, and I think there's actually some more good things coming for them. But really, the best thing will be 2 good weeks and playing good, and then as they move into the next year as they keep moving. So, but it was good. I mean, it's 3 All-Americans in 2 years. It was only 1 first-team All-American. Those guys were second team. So it's been a while, and again, I think we got some more good players coming. So I think it's just a sign we're recruiting the right kind of bodies. You guys get all amped up with commitments, and in our opinion is we can't get quality commitments early. We take our time and evaluate and get the right bodies, the right body type, the right kid to buy in and come and be developed. And those are 2 kids that started very, very good. A true story to Jason Spriggs is he was a 266-pound starting left tackle as a freshman who played tight. He was a basketball kid. 6'6", you grew up in northern Indiana. You're a basketball guy. And he kind of grew into a tight end, became a DN, and you're looking at this kid like you're probably going to be an offensive lineman. We brought him to camp. A couple of you guys were at that camp. Looked good. Hey, there's no doubt. He comes in day 1, and we weren't very good at the time up front, and hey, you're the starting left tackle. And we're playing Indiana State that year, and they had a decent senior that was a free agent type kid that got looked at a little bit. I remember eating with him on Friday for the first game, and I go 4 years from now when you're playing the NFL, you're going to go back and remember how bad you were crapping your pants before you played this first game against Indiana State. And now you're playing against a real dude, a real guy. And so that was a Friday of sitting at lunch, just having a conversation. Hey, relax now. You're going to be pretty good. You'll be all right. So he started good. He's been a great player. Dan Feeney the same way. Jason's got a lot of athleticism. Dan's just got a lot of continuity and consistency. And Greg Fry's I know that line position pretty well. A lot of people would say the hardest position to coach is the position that the head coached. I played the position, I coached the position. Greg does an awesome job. I don't walk into his wheelhouse. He coaches them up, and I mess up everybody else. He does a great job. And that's a credit to Greg Fry, the finalist for the nominee for Broyles.
And what year?
Very much offensively. I don't think they're quite as dynamic receiver-wise as Michigan State, but their system and style and way the quarterback plays has got a little bit of that. David's going to do a good job of putting them in good plays. The quarterback can run around a little bit, and very, very impressed offensively. Defensively, like so many teams we play, very comparable to Wake Forest, who's one of the better defenses in the ACC. I think they're about 5th or 6th or 7th in most defensive stats. They're a 4-3 quarters team, make it hard to run. Some young skill guys. They have played so well. And Duke can nationally attract a lot of academic top-notch kids that they target that they've just enhanced, I think like we have, they've enhanced their skill. So you watch their defense, and they're active flying around. And again, just Coach Cutcliffe's background, his quarterback plays very, very well. He's an athletic guy, and they're going to cause a lot of fits offensively. Hadn't got in much of their kicking, although I think their kick return players, kind of an All-American, All-Conference kid, had 3 touchdown returns. So, again, 4 bowl games in a row. Last year or 2 years ago, they played for the ACC championship. Won their division. So, team is doing this year. They're 6-1 and 22 or 19 or something in the country, and just had a little run, kind of like us, where they got on the wrong side of the scoreboard.
This is a time where you kind of see a lot of coaching movement going right here.
Yeah, they were a little bit ago. They're with the recruits right now. I mean, that's a part of college ball, though. So again, hopefully, we've talked. But trying to maintain continuity. And, again, I think we've battled and with some guys that have been approached before, and Again, just got a lot of appreciation for our guys and the way they've done a solid job of recruiting. And you talk about some great coaches, Coach Hill and the strength staff and the way they've developed the Feeneys and Spriggs and those type players is awesome. So, I mean, it's a great group of guys. And right now, our plans to be, but, who knows? Offers do come. There's lots of things to consider between families and educations and kids. And, it's not about, dollars all the time. You just want to be at a place where you can win. You're having fun. I think the best thing we got going is I think our coaches believe in our kids. I think they like it. I think they like each other. And I just think they like working together. And that's I think one of the reasons why our team stayed pretty together. I think our coaches are very close and pretty much together.
I know the offensive line probably deserves a lot of the credit for the running game this year, but I guess just looking at Devine specifically, how do you think he's gotten better since the beginning of the year? Is he maybe more relaxed or just maybe more? Yeah,
good question. And I would compliment too now the games that we really played well in. The tight end group has been, when Danny Friend got hurt and Casaro had a banged up shoulder, ankle thing he was fighting through, and we just had Mike Cooper. There's a couple games where we weren't as good running the ball in that tight end group. Michael playing better, played really great down the stretch. Kiwi last night, Brandon Knight moving out there, solidified. So that when you say to me offensive line, you got to include that tight end group, especially because we're a spread team and the quarterback's not a true run threat. So to capture the edge or cut off the backside, you got to have that defensive or that tight end position. I think it's again credit to Coach McCullough and the way he develops players. Devine, the more he plays, more confident. To me, I would always complain early, like, hey man, he's just getting what we block. If we block it for 3, he gets 3. But I mean, sometimes a really good back just gets you 4 and 5 when it's 3, and just kind of keeps you ahead of the chains. And I just think the more he's played, he trusts it more, he presses it more. He's not second guessing. He's calmer, and I think as quote, he's played more and he's gotten calmer, then he's gotten faster. And so, but credit to him, he was hands down the leader of the running back crowd as we transitioned from Tevin into Jordan. He's always been the leader of that group. He's a great worker. He's doing well in so many facets. And then to play the way he did down the stretch, line play, tight end play was good. But he's coming along. And as always, I think you got to credit Coach McCullough.
You mentioned a couple months ago that Camion was working in the backfield for you guys. Is he still kind of giving you?
Yeah, we just, we put him at Ohio State. I said, hey, come be Braxton. And he was really good. And then he said, why don't we do this? And I said, well, you can't play right yet, because he's pretty good. And then we just started playing some at tailback because we had with injuries some of our, Andrew Wilson and Alex Rodriguez, who were kind of some of our backup tailbacks, was playing. Well, now we kind of need you for Saturday. And so he just by necessity. And so he's very natural at it. He's very good with the ball in his hand. He's still playing receiver. Today he played both. I said, come here, play this, 2 plays here. And we're doing some young guy work. Hey, go outside. So, he'll be okay.
You guys noticed these 2 weeks down the road after getting the bullpen, have you noticed maybe the way recruits have kind of received you?
Yeah, I think, again, good. I mean, we got a lot of airtime. You just, I can't tell you, walking in hallways of buildings and just seeing you play, man, you look good. You guys play hard, exciting games. So you're in close. You get tired of hearing that close deal a little bit other than that. But we're fortunate with some of the ABC time that we got and some of the performances. A credit to the kids. Once they get up here, they see a great school and the academics and the facilities. That's always good. I think you can tell because you follow it. I mean, you look at where they're visiting. I mean, we got guys on campus right now that are actually locked in supposedly at other places. So I don't know who's locked in anymore. I don't know what coach is where right now. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity between now and matter of fact, I don't think recruiting is going to start, like I said, till January 15th. And then it'll be wide open for a couple weeks of all the coaching changes and all the he said, she said stories. Like I tell recruits all the time, you need to recruit with 2 things, and that's your eyes and that's your heart or gut. Don't recruit with your ears because you're going to hear a lot of stuff. Trust what you see and trust what you feel and sense. But we'll keep working hard. We got a number of quality kids here, a number of guys moving forward, potentially here junior college signing date next week. And I'll let you know this, if that happens and a kid's a mid-year kid, we can actually have him here next Saturday, Sunday, Monday, any of those guys practicing. But they cannot go to the bowl site. So there's a chance that if we are fortunate enough to land a mid-year kid, by rule, we could actually get those guys on campus a couple days. And that's better because when they come in January, I can work with the kid, but I can't have a ball in his hand. So he can't catch a ball, he can't kick a ball. But if they're here these couple, 3 days, I think that would be kind of neat and escalate our process of these are things you need to work on as January comes back. So we'll see. Nothing's ever set in stone. So you see it when you believe it, and the faxes come in, they show up, and they're eligible and all that stuff.
Is that JUCOs and
Mid-year enrollee. And for us this year, we only have 2 open spots. You can only replace, even if a guy says, hey, I'm leaving, or a guy starts and quits the team, he's on scholarship the whole year. So even though he's not here, that scholarship's gone. The only time we can replace someone mid-year is that we did not use the scholarship, and we typically use all our scholarships because I like to reward those walk-ons for what that's worth. So I invest money in those guys. I think those are some of like our late recruits. You know, I'd rather, every time we're looking at somebody late, he better be better than so-and-so. Because like last year, like, he better be better than Mitchell Page. Or, hey, that's Griffin Oaks scholarship. So if you want him, that's Griff's money. Are you good with that? So, but the high school guys, because this year only 2 guys we can replace are Sudfeld graduates and Eric Toth. And the reason why is we're playing so many true freshmen that the seniors are not in their 9th semester, they're in their 7th semester. It's like Nate's graduating in 3.5 years. And so that's why it's hard to have, quote, more mid-year spaces. And we could hold money back, but I like rewarding walk-ons.
Kevin, you're a little banged up in the secondary. Are you getting healthy there?
Yeah, those guys are back going out. The foot guys, are out because those guys had a couple of procedures with Dutra and Jamil. But Warren Crawford looks more healthy than he's been, and Andre Brown's back going. And, of course, Leon Thornton. We did a competition day, and I wanted a wide receiver against the DB, and Thornton jumped up in line. I said, "Now, which one are you playing?" And he said, "I'm a DB." So, but yeah, we're Marcus Oliver quote says, "Best I've felt since the start of preseason." I don't know. So we're getting a little bit, we're better. We need to practice hard, but we got to practice smart because you don't want to get a little nick up between now and 2 weeks. We want to show up and be a good team. It's playing a great team in a great stadium. Johnny can tell you, he took me out the other day on the field, we walked and we're just looking around. Hey, what's our sideline? Where's the locker room? I'm checking the grass. You're feeling the wind. We're doing, those little census you try to get a feel for. And he said, turn around. And we're about on the, 15, 17-yard line. He goes, you're standing in center field. He can tell I started sweating. I thought it was Mickey Mantle. I was like, And then I said, hey, I'm Mitchell Page catching a punt. And I'm looking right back at home plate. It was pretty cool. It's a great environment. So, we'll get those guys back, and this bowl game's going to be a great trip, but we want to play our best against a good team. Anything else?
Coach, other than the season opener, you get a chance to prepare for one opponent like you do a bowl game. Are there any consequences to that, or do you view it only as a positive to have this extra time?
I think from a player development point, and I think from a physical recovery point, I think sometimes those coaches, we can do too much. And we can game plan. Like I always say, we're playing a legitimate team, and you're putting it together in 2 days, 3 days. Well, now you got 3 weeks, and us coaches can be smart enough to screw things up more than help sometimes because you quote overcoach. So, you want to look at your tendencies. You want to be smart. We really just want to keep getting better, stay with the process. You kind of go, dance with the one you took. So you kind of are what you are. We still got some things we're trying to work on and clean up, defensively, offensively. But I'm concerned about over preparation. And I'm concerned of overcoaching, but I also know we're a team that's sitting in 6-6 needs to get better, and there's a balance that I'm working on and how we do it. We put a lot of thought. I think we're still working through our schedule of how to do it to max it out without overdoing it.